Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Welcome back to the second video of 1.3 Stoichiometry. So in the last video, we have looked for the case of inspection method for the chemical equation where straightforward from the reactant to the product, make sure all the atoms in the reactant side is equal to the number of atoms on the product side. So that is actually for the first one, chemical equation by inspection method. So for the second one, what we're going to look at is actually redox equation by inspection method, which is on your notes on page 19. Okay, so here it's actually an ion-electron method for the redox equation. So yang ini kita akan balancekan actually the ion and the electron for the equation itself. Okay, so this reaction involves both reduction and oxidation, and it may occur in acidic medium or basic medium. So in the question itself, it will state lah. Okay, so this equation is actually in this reaction is in acidic medium. So dia kata balance the equation, or it will say to you this reaction happen in basic medium. So it is two different cases lah. Okay, so for this one, it's just a bit of revision. What is reduction? What is oxidation? Okay, so oxidation is actually loss of electron and hydrogen, but we're going to gain oxygen and this reaction occur at anode. Okay, while reduction is actually the gaining of electron and the hydrogen, where we lose our oxygen and the reaction occur at cathode. Okay, so this one is not important yet. You don't have to memorize. You don't have to memorize this. This is actually we're going to learn into more detail during semester 2. So right now, for this case, yang ini is just a bit of revision lah for you. Okay. Okay, tapi for this case, nanti apa yang kat tengah-tengah ni? Okay. What is here in the middle? Oucher ni. So, oucher ni is actually the steps for you to remember. Contoh sebab tadi inspection method yang chemical equation is straightforward. Ini dia banyak step dia sikit. So, yang ini simplify kan kamu is actually here. Ada oucher. Macam ouch. Ini macam ouch yang kita sakit tu. Tapi dia lebih sikit oucher. Macam tu lah. Okay, because this equation, it have 5 steps basically. Sebenarnya ada banyak lagi step. Tapi ni we're going to simplify it. Okay, first and foremost, what we're going to do is actually we're going to balance the atom. The atom tu is actually yang bukan oksigen dengan hydrogen. Atoms beside oksigen dengan hydrogen. So, for example, dalam equation ni, ferrum ni dengan ferrum ni. So, itulah atom kita. We don't want to look at our oksigen and hydrogen yet. So, kalau yang ini, Mn dengan Mn ni, so first kita kena make sure balance kita punya yang Mn ni dululah. Okay. So, first is first step is actually balancing the atoms besides oksigen dengan hydrogen. Second step is actually we're going to balance our oxygen. Okay, so how we're going to balance our oxygen? Okay, nanti kita akan tengok macam mana. Tapi how we're going to balance the oxygen is actually we're going to add H2O. Okay, so nanti kita akan tengok macam mana. Next is actually after we already balance the oxygen, we're going to balance the hydrogen pula. Make sure on the reactant and the product side is equal. Okay, so nanti kita akan add kita punya H+. Okay. After we have balance, so maknanya for these 3 cases ni is actually our atom lah. Atom, semua atom kita dalam tu. Once we have balanced the atom, we're going to calculate the charge. Yang ini dia lain sikit. Kita kena kira charge pula. Okay. After we have calculate the charge, okay. Again, this is actually kita nak balancing the equation kan. So, when we balance the equation, we're going to add... to make the equation on the reactant and the product side to equal, we're going to add electron. Kita akan add electron to where it is more positive value lah. Sebab electron ni is actually, electron dia negative 1 value dia. Kalau kita ada 6, maknanya times 6 lah. Okay, so just to make it balance. Okay, so nanti kita akan tengok how does this reaction work. Yang ini misalkan jelaskan secara detail lagi for example number 1. Okay, so let's look for example 1 here. Okay, so this is actually the equation. So, step 1, divide the equation into 2 half reaction. So, ni reactant, ni is product. So, first, Miss nak yang ini actually the same species from ferrum to ferrum. Tapi dia jadi ferrum 2+, jadi ferrum 3+. Okay, itu baru satu half equation. Okay, lagi satu, it's actually kita punya reactant kita MnO4-. akan jadi Mn2+. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay, sekarang ni barulah kita boleh buat yang outer kita. So, atom tu lah. Balance the atom. Kita tak nak yang ada oksigen dan hidrogen. So, ferrum here kita tengok, dia ada satu sahaja. Okay. Tapi charge dia memang berbeza. But actually, the number of ferrum tu kita hanya ada satu sahaja. So, it is already balanced. So, I'm just going to copy paste it again. Okay. Now is for my manganese. So, manganese ni again nak tengok manganese saja. Tak nak tengok yang oksigen kita. Even though it's there, later kita tengok. So, tapi sekarang ni, emang dia punya manganese is still the same. So, misalkan copy paste sahaja. So, first step dah finish. Balancing the atom. Next is actually balancing the oxygen. Tapi for the case of ferrum ni, mana ada oxygen on both sides. So, it's fine. Okay, right now kita tengok for manganese pula. Manganese ni, dekat sini kita ada 4 oxygen. Tapi dekat sini, on the product side, we don't have any oxygen. Okay, so how we gonna balance it out? Okay, kita salin je dulu, tapi kita akan add kita akan tambah satu yang baru. Okay, kita akan tambah H2O. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down H2O here. Tapi sekarang ni, kita tengok oksigen kita is actually 4. Tapi kalau water ni baru 1. So, how to make it balance? Kita akan add 4H2O. Okay, so that's for balancing oxygen atom. Okay, dah habis. Sekarang ni is for the hydrogen itself. So, step 1, tak ada apa-apa masalah. For the ferrum, tak ada apa-apa masalah. So, tak ada hydrogen, tak tambah oksigen apa-apa. Tapi for the second equation ni, kita kena tengok balik. Okay, so sekarang ni, kita akan balance the H item. Okay, so H kita is actually memang ada 2. And then we have 4 in front. So, 2 times 4, we have 8 hydrogen. Okay, so kita nak balancekan, is actually tambahlah dengan 8H+. Make sure H yang kali ni kita add adalah H+ pula. Dia memang macam tu. Okay, so this is actually, kita tengok semua, atom kita semua dah balance. Ferrum kita, manganese kita, oksigen kita, both side ada 4. Hydrogen kita, both side ada 8. Okay, so right now, the equation is balanced, the reactant and the product side. Sekarang ni barulah kita tengok charge dengan electron. The charge itself lah. Okay, so mesti tengok yang ferrum dulu. Okay, so for the case of charge, kita yang ini bila the atom dah settle lah. Okay, so charge ni kita tengok. Here, charge untuk ferrum here is actually dekat sini sebab dia kata 2+ kan. So charge dia dekat sini memang 2+ lah. Okay, kita tengok pada species tu itself. Dia tulis sebenarnya charge dia berapa. Ferrum 3. So kita akan add electron. Electron is actually a negative sign lah. The new value is -1. Satu electron. To the side with a greater positive charge. Okay, mana yang lagi positif? So, dalam case ni, it's not balanced. So, kita akan add electron to the one to the more positive charge, which is Fe3+. So, dekat sini, kita akan tambahkan dengan electron. So, again, electron, charge dia is actually -1. Okay, so kalau misalnya buat sini -1, so, tengok, balance tak? Dekat sini jadi both side positive 2. So, dah balance. Itulah pentingnya electron. Nak balance the charge. So, kita tengok dekat sini. H+. Okay, tapi sebab ada 8 di hadapan, 8H+. MnO4 ni, sebab depan dia only 1. So, charge dia -1. Mn2+. Charge dia, sebab ada 1 di hadapan dia. So, dia jadi 2+. H2O. Kita tengok apa charge dia. Dia tak ada apa-apa charge kan atas tu. Maka dia adalah a neutral compound. Okay, so right now I'm going to calculate the charge itself. So, here is actually 7. Here is positive 2. Okay, so macam mana nak balancekan dia? Add electron. Tapi add electron to the greater overall positive charge. Sini positive 7, positive 2. So, kita akan add electron to the positive 7 lah. Okay, but how many electron we're gonna add? Sebab yang ini belum balance lagi. Kita kena tengok berapa banyak elektron yang diperlukan. Okay, so senang. What I would like to do, so mesti tahu kan charge sebelum tu 7. Yang sini 2. So, 7 minus 2, 5. So, I know I need 5 electron. Okay, so kat sini I'm just going to write down 5. Okay, so bila kita calculate the charge, kita tengok dekat sini, dia akan dapat positive 2. Okay, plus 1, positive 2. So, that is on the reaction side. Product side pun positive 2. So, dah balance. Okay, so, apa ni? Kalau mana yang big, kalau nak tahu berapa banyak elektron tu, mana yang big, the more bigger value tu, tolak yang smaller value. Okay, so step 6, multiply each reaction by integer. So that number of electron tu sama. Okay, so sebenarnya for the redox equation ni, dia adalah reduction dengan oxidation. It's actually process of gain and lose electron. So one equation ni kita gain electron, satu ni kita lose kita punya electron. Okay, so macam mana kita nak tahu dia gain ke lose? Okay, kalau gain electron maknanya electron is product side. Kalau lose electron is actually on the reactant side. So make sure electron tu mesti opposite side sebab this is a process of losing and gaining electron. So macam mana nak balancekan electron itself? Kita kena balancekan electron so that we can cancel out the electron. So the first equation of the ferrum tu we have to multiply by 5. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste it here. Cuma yang lainnya dekat sini, I'm just going to change my ferrum 2 plus tu akan jadi ferrum 5, ferrum 2 plus. Sama jugalah Fe3 plus. Semua ni, each of the species for the equation tu kita akan multiplykan. Last but not least, it's actually step 7. Tapi step 7 ni ada 2 kali pula. Okay, tapi tak apa. We're gonna add to the half reaction and simplify where possible. Okay, yang ni I'm just gonna delete dulu. Okay, Miss delete dulu yang step 7 tu ada 2 kali Okay, so kat situ dah buat. Okay, so dekat sini what we're gonna do next is actually we combine it into one equation. So first equation tu kan one equation kan. Yang ni pun kita kena balance it out back. So bila kita dah balancekan dia, make sure on the siapa yang di reactant side, product side. Okay. So I'm gonna do, okay, ferrum yang sini adalah pada Miss punya reactant. Okay. Tambah dengan, jangan lupa yang second equation tu ada reactant lagi. So I'm just gonna copy paste it here. Okay, lepas tu, baru sekarang ni kita buat produk kita. Okay, jangan lupa the second part of the product pun, equation pun ada product. Okay, so buat plus. Okay, so that is the equation. Kita kena combinekan dia. Sebab first equation tu hanya ada satu saja kan. Tu pun kita kena combinekan. The reactant on the reactant side and product on the product side. Dia punya the arrangement tak kisah. But make sure on the reactant kena reactant side, product mestilah kena pada product side. So that's for example 1. Example 2, I believe you could try yourself. Mungkin bagilah solution hint dekat Google Form. Okay, so right now what we're gonna do is actually example number 3. We're gonna do it together. Yang ini tak banyak space kan. Tapi yang ini punyalah banyak. Okay, jom kita buat. Yang ini senang. Yang ini nampak simple sikit. Sebab yang ini Miss buat one by one. Miss gabungkan semua. Okay, so first and foremost, before we're going to do outer tu, we're going to divide the equation. Two half equation. So Cu jadi Cu2 plus, NO3 jadi NO2. Okay. So we're going to do it per equation, outer ni. Okay. Tu dah lagi simple lah sebenarnya, lagi senang. Okay, so kita tengok atom dah balance, oksigen dengan hidrogen tidak perlu. Okay, so right now calculate charge pula. Okay, charge dia. So, sini 0, sini 2 plus. So, dekat sini, kita akan balancekan the equation by adding electron. Okay, add electron to where? To more positive value. Yang more positive value tu, kita akan add our electron. Okay, so, akan add electron di mana? Di product ke di reactant? Okay, so here I'm going to write down di product. Okay, so, kita akan tambah lah. Okay. Tapi kalau kamu tak pasti boleh buat. Macam mana kalau kita buat di reactant? Apa akan jadi? So contohnya kalau tambah electron on the reactant side. Kalau kat sini I put here tu negative 2 positive 2. So it's not balanced. So maknanya the electron tu mestilah on the opposite side. If you be unsure, boleh cuba dua-dua. Kamu tengok balance tak? Kalau tak pastilah. Okay, so sekarang ni kita dapat dah balance dah. The electron both side the charge is 0. Next equation. Okay, so N dah balance. Oksigen. So, oksigen, sini ada 3. Sini oksigen kita, the product side, oksigen kita is not balanced. Sebab dia baru ada 2 oksigen. So, oksigen kita akan balance dengan add H2O. Add H2O tu to the one with the less oxygen. So, kita pluskan dengan H2O. So, sekarang ni oksigen ada 3. So, balance. Next step is the hydrogen. So, hydrogen, here it's 2, here tak ada oxygen. So we're going to add hydrogen macam mana? Hydrogen what we're going to add is actually we're going to add dengan H+. But how many H plus we're gonna add? Okay, so kat sini kita tengok H2O kita, apa ni? H2O kita, we have maknanya for water we have 2 hydrogen. So kita akan add 2H plus lah. Sebab ni baru satu saja hydrogen. Okay, so all the atoms balance. Right now, let's calculate the charge pula. Okay, so yang tu dah check dah. Okay, charge kita. So ni positive 2, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so how to make it balance? Add electron to the more positive value. So dekat mana? Lepas tu make sure, kalau kamu tengok kan lagi satu equation tu, it must be at the end of the reaction tu, electron tu must be on the opposite side. Sebab dia gain dengan loose electron kan. So dia kena ni. So kita dah balancekan dia. So kita tengok both side adalah 0. So right now what we're gonna do is gonna simplify. First adalah simplify the electron. Simplify the electron dengan same species. Tapi kali ni same species the electron sahaja. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write down the product. So the product would be apa ni, all the equation ni lah. So just bear with me yang Miss copy paste sekarang ni. Okay, make sure all the reactant are on the reactant side. Yang di product pula, yang mana on the product side, it has to be on the product side. The arrangement ni tak kisah. Kalau kamu nak buat NO2 dulu plus H2O plus Cu2 plus pun, there's no problem. The most important thing is that make sure the product must be on the product side. Okay, so that's for equation number 3. Okay, so yang ini, itulah pada yang page 19 ni, is a lot sebab kita buat one by one yang macam ni kan. Kalau lepas ni, kalau kita dah biasa dah, ini you have to biasakan. Easier kalau kita buat satu equation tu oucher, second equation oucher. Bukanlah first and second, yang half equation tu we're gonna do oucher terus. Okay, 4, try yourself, example 5. So jom kita buat sama-sama. Okay, yang ini kalau contohnya kamu rasa dah confident, boleh buat sendiri, boleh skip tengok nanti last jawapan dia apa. Okay, so yang first, SO2 jadi SO42 minus. Chromium, tak nak. Kita nak buat S dulu. Okay, so kita punya sulfur dah, oxygen kita not balance. We're gonna add our water to less oxygen. Okay, so less oxygen is actually reactant side. So H2O, but make sure how many. Tak cukup dia 2. So 2 H2O. Okay, so semua oxygen is balanced. Right now for our hydrogen. So for our hydrogen, we have 2 times 2. So we have 4 hydrogen. Sini 4, sini 0. So we're gonna add plus 4H plus. So right now all the atom is already balanced. Okay, so sulfur ada 1, oxygen 4, hydrogen dia pun 4. Okay, next kita ada, we're gonna calculate the charge. Okay, so sini charge dia is a 0, ni pun 0. Because it doesn't have any charge kan dia tulis. So yang here is actually negative 2. Here is our positive 4 sebab positive 1 times 4. Okay, so kita akan dapat total ni is actually positive 2. Okay, it's not balanced, positive 2, 0. What we're going to do is actually we will add electron to more positive side of the equation. Okay, so dekat sini, kat mana kita nak tambah? Yang ni, okay. So kat sini positif, sinilah yang kita akan tambahkan elektron sebab this is more positive. Positive 2 is more positive value lah than 0. So we're gonna add 2 electron sebab nanti bila kita add 2 electron barulah dia jadi 0. So dapatlah charge dia. Okay, so dah balance dah for our case of SO2, SO42 minus. Next is actually for chromium. Chromium ni yang lain sikit. Okay, jom kita buat. So chromium ni jadi chromium 3+. Yang ini, make sure check balik. Chromium kita ni, for the first one ni, atom ni, chromium kat sini ada 2 sebenarnya. Cr2. Here is only 1. So times lah, chromium kita dekat 2. Yang ni yang lain kan. First time nak darab. Okay, lepas tu oxygen. Oxygen here 7. So sini kita akan add 7 H2O. So that we get 7 oxygen. Okay, next is actually how many hydrogen. So, hydrogen berapa pula? Hydrogen we have 14. So, sini kita akan tambahkan dengan 14H+. So, bila sini 14H+. So, sekarang ni we can calculate the charge. Okay, atom semua dah balance. Okay, so sekarang ni calculation pula plus 40 negative 2. Yang ini positive 6. Sini 0. Okay, so how to make it balance? Sini positive 12, positive 6. We're going to add electron to the more positive value. So, more positive this one. So, jadi plus electron. Okay, so kalau nak tahu berapa banyak electron, kita minuskan lah the difference tu. Okay, so 12 minus 6, so we get 6 electron. Okay, so padamkan. So right now, both sides memang charge dia is positive 6. Okay, so sekarang ni we have balance our chair kita for both of the equation. We're going to simplify. Simplify first dengan electron. We're going to simplify lah. Yang ni equation dia berbeza kan, dia punya electron dia berbeza. So what we're going to do first is actually we're going to make sure the electron is the same. So I'm gonna multiply all the value by 3. Multiply all the equation tu lah. Okay, so yang ini make sure satu sahaja. Tengok electron pun must be on the opposite side. So bila dia jadi 2H2O, sebab dah times dengan 3, so dia jadi 6H2O, 3SO2, 3SO4 2 minus dengan 12H plus. And don't forget, paling penting sebenarnya kita ni electron ni 6 electron. Okay, so first what we're going to do is actually we're going to simplify the equation lah. Okay, so paling simple sebenarnya kita akan simplify the electron lah. Okay, so simplify the electron, kita dah padam dah. Okay, but then I'm just going to double check it. Okay, nak double check apa lagi yang boleh simplify. Simplify is actually siapa yang same species lah. Sebenarnya electron. Tapi case ni just check je. Okay, kalau opposite side, kita akan tolak. Kalau same side, we're gonna add the species. Okay, sebab yang ni opposite side, sebab tu kita minus kan. Okay, so sekarang ni kita tengok H2O kita is actually kita boleh simplify kan. And it's actually on the opposite side. So macam mana nak simplify kan? Minuskan sahaja. 7 minus 6. So jadilah 1. Okay, yang lain semua sama sahaja. Tak ada pun yang sama. Okay. Yang ni H plus dengan H plus ni. Kan same species. But it's actually on the opposite side. Okay, so bila dia on the opposite side, kita akan tolak lah. Make sure yang big minus small. Sebab itulah yang tadi tu, yang 1 tu is actually on the product side. Okay, so yang ini, simplify. So, ni jadi 2H plus. Okay, chromium sama sahaja. Tak ada apa-apa yang sama. So, semua dah simplifykan. Okay, make sure, remember that we have to simplify our equation. Paling famous sekali electron lah. Tapi boleh juga H2O dengan H plus. Lepas tu, when we combine it, the reactant must be on the reactant side. Product must be on the product side. Okay, so semua ni, so salin sahaja. Salin ni pun benar. Okay. Boleh juga cuba try yourself benda-benda ni. Apa ni equation ni. Mesti ada banyak juga example. Tapi nak try pun boleh. Okay. So, this is actually the equation. Tapi, if you be unsure, betul ke ni jawapan dia? Sebenarnya, there's another way to check. Jomlah kita check sama-sama kan, the atom. Sulfur kat sini ada 3. Oksigen kita ada sini 6. Sini 7. 6 plus 7, 13. So, sini H kita ada 2. Chromium kita pun ada 2. Okay. Lepas tu, sekarang ni, sulfur kita 3. Oksigen kita 12 plus dengan sini 1. So, 13. Okay, chromium kita ada 2. H kita ada 2. Okay, so tengok equation ni pun dah balance. Yang ini just to make sure lah. At the end tu, if you be unsure, nampak panjang sangat. Betul ke tak? Lepas tu second tengok charge dia. Balance tak? Ini pun balance. Both side is 0. So, it's quite a lot. But I believe you could try yourself. Example 6. Okay, so that's the end for the acidic medium.